Welcome to another episode of Home Sweet Home. My name is Rod McCall.
And I'm Scott Nichols.
Between the lights and the music, I think I'm really getting into this Christmas season.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of fun out there.
Well, it's, we're between trying to figure out how to, find that perfect gift for Sherry, being able to order it and then try and hide it. Because, she works from home. So if I order it and it's delivered, odds are she's going to be the one that retrieves it, when it's dropped off by the Amazon driver.
Right.
So being crafty and clever is kind of a challenge.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? Like we've had a couple episodes here where we're talking about Christmas traditions, and it's a lot of joy going on, right? Like we're having fun, we're enjoying things, but the reality is that not everybody's finding joy during this time period, and for whatever reason. There's lots of reasons, right? But not everybody's finding some joy, and so. I kind of thought we would touch on that a little bit today as we lead up to that time off and that a lot of people have surrounding Christmas and whatever celebration you might be doing during that time, or maybe you're not doing any celebration at all, and that's part of where you are, but not everybody's finding joy. Not everybody has balance. Not everybody is really seeing all the enjoyment in all this. Yeah. And so I think maybe there's some things. I was looking at WebMD, and that's where I came up with this, right?
Oh yeah.
WebMD actually has some stuff out there about this because depression is real.
Yeah, and depression tied with grief. I can say that the first few years after Eric was killed, I hated the holidays.
Yeah.
It was so hard for me to navigate the happy, joyful mood that everybody else was in. When I'm going, well, my life just kind of isn't as hunky-dory.
Right.
We talked about traditions last time. Well, my traditions got flushed right down the toilet. Passing on traditions, creating new traditions, all of that, sharing old ones were no longer something I could look forward to. And so I really had a hard time with Christmas.
And tough as that is, right? Like if something like that happens, and if you experience a loss, and it happens in January, well, you have a whole year to get to this season. But if it happens in October,
which this did,
then it's upsetting what you were already leading into.
Well, and, like I've mentioned before, was part of a divorce recovery group here in Dallas for a long time. And we had a huge uptick in first-time members showing up in January and February.
Wow.
Some would show up, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, but a lot of times we would see a huge increase January, February, as many folks were... Well, we'll get through the holidays, and then we'll tell the kids that we're divorcing.
Right.
And so you get a lot of times individuals putting on a brave face, a fake face, to get through the holidays. And because, for you, for me, for a large percentage of the population, it is a good, happy time.
Sure.
But you're right in saying that it's not all sunshines and daffodils for a number of folks, because it can be what normally would be fun and exciting can also be just exceptionally stressful, aggravating, frustrating, and so no, I get it.
Well, I think that everybody experiences some kind of point in their life where this is a difficult time. You had it in your life, as you just said, and for me, we had times where we had no money.
Yeah.
And so this becomes a very stressful time because there is all kinds of expectation that you're going to get presents for your kids and you got to keep up with the Joneses as far as what they're getting because they're going to school and they're going to other friends are going to get stuff, and you got to You got to make sure that they get things. And so that's a big deal. And that creates a lot of financial stress on people that may not have the means at the moment. And which of course is where angel trees and those kinds of things, if you have the means, like helping out is a great thing, because that really does help somebody out. But, we all have different scenarios where we may not have a happy time.
You're absolutely right. I remember, again, from the divorce group, you mentioned not having money. We had a number of folks that it was their first Christmas holiday and coming up with, where am I going to, I'm competing with my ex.
Right.
Because my ex was the primary breadwinner, and all I've got is child support and this new part-time job that I just took on.
Wow.
And trying to do, as you just were saying, not only are you providing new traditions, you're trying to now also compete, not just with the Joneses, but,
right.
with your kids' ex. And so you're right. There is a ton of misery that can fall in and around this time.
Yeah.
And so I like this WebMD article that you pulled up, because it talked about, or it broke it into 4 basic categories.
Yeah.
You've got your emotions around this time of year. You've got your family and those expectations this time of year. And then, as you mentioned, you got the shopping, and then, of course, those holiday parties. Right. Whether they're the neighborhood parties, the work parties, the kids' school parties, if they're, elementary or middle school. So I thought maybe we could dive.
Yeah,
take your idea, because I really think it is valuable. And
let's take a look at it.
So if we dive into the emotions part, one of the things that we, how shall I say this? Helping others is a great way to feel better about yourself.
Right.
And so finding ways to volunteer, that there's all kinds of stuff to do that. But I guess the biggest thing that I would say is use your support network.
Sure.
Your friends, your family. Like I said, for me, it was our divorce group. They were my friends. They were kind of my family and my friends, as they were able to provide a lot of that comfort.
Right.
But it is, like I say, with all of this, our emotions can kind of get the best of us.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that I struggle with, but when I can, especially in those days, is to try and keep things modest, keep my expectations, lower my expectations in essence.
Right.
Because if I lower my expectations, then I have less to meet.
Okay.
If that makes sense. I mean, you don't have to, don't feel like you have to do this or that you are supposed to do that. And I mean, if you're, whatever the issue is, buying gifts for your kids, sometimes it can be, is there something that we can build together?
Right.
And maybe it doesn't have to go out and spend a lot of money on decorations, but the old paper chain, the loops. We used to do that in elementary school.
Oh, we did that when we were, with our kids when we didn't have a lot of money. Right?
Yeah,
you could make some decorations, and that was always fun too. Right? And kids like that,
and that actually can create fond memories and new traditions, and at the same time, saving money.
But I think what you're getting at here is you don't have to accept all the external expectations.
Pretty much, yeah.
You don't have to put them on yourself. Don't let other people do that.
Yeah, because if you assume that, well, if I don't do these things or don't do those things, that, well, my kids are going to have the worst Christmas ever, that people are going to think less of me or worse of me. And the answer to that is no, they won't. Because at the end of the day, it's, in particular for kids, they just want time.
Yeah.
And so time can be something that you can have. I know that when I was, I had a hard time competing with Eric's mother. She made twice as much money as I did, and I had to pay her child support.
Yeah.
So she had a lot of money where I did not. But the one thing I always made sure I did was provide time with Eric, where we would play together, build together, cook together.
Sure.
And so I think that's kind of what, with these kinds of issues, emotions, that you can help both yourself and your family by, again, keeping your expectations a little more modest, lowering those expectations.
So you mentioned family, and sometimes family is part of the problem, right? I mean, let's be honest. Family drama is a thing, and being around family sometimes isn't always the happiest thing, depending on your family, right? I mean, we have for me and my wife and my kids. I think it's a good time, and I think our kids enjoy it. But it's not it's not always. I've been around extended family members that maybe it wasn't as joyful of a time. Not that I was having a problem with them, but sometimes they're having a problem with each other.
Yes.
Right? And things get out in the open and kind of, don't, it's just not really attractive. It's not something that you want to see or be a part of sometimes, and you feel awkward, and, it's just, it makes things a little bit on the less happy side. What do you do about that? I mean,
Well, you cannot control, and this is something that we talked about in the divorce group, something that Sherry reminds me of when I get frustrated, even now. You cannot control what happens to you.
Sure.
You can control how you respond.
Yeah.
And you can fly off the handle. You can blow a gasket. You can, erupt like a volcano. Or you can do something else. You could walk away. You could find, you know what? I hear what you're saying, but I don't want to debate with you because you're not in a discussion mode. You're in fight mode. So I'm going to leave you with your comments, and I'm going to leave.
Sometimes it's awkward, though, when you're 20 minutes before dinner and two other people are exploding at each other, and you're just like, I don't even want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
But I have to stay, right?
Sure. And that's kind of, that can be an issue. I always worry about stuff like that when we have our family gatherings.
Yeah.
Because despite my best efforts, I can be very judgy. I've got,
I didn't
nieces.
want to say anything, but
you're right. Because I am.
I'm just joking.
No, but it is true.
I don't want to judge your judginess.
Oh, well, feel free.
I get judgy too, right? Like,
yeah.
I have expectations, and I have things that I think are the right way, and sometimes I, get upset. I mean, I've talked about the dishwasher many times.
Oh.
So it's just,
So but you're right. And that's the one thing that, I would say that you just control how you respond, how you react. Because at the end of the day, that's the only thing you are totally and completely in control of. One of the things, too, and I know last year was really, really tough, is it was the first year without my dad, both at Thanksgiving and at Christmas.
Yeah.
If this is the early time, I have a niece that her daughter died right before Thanksgiving, and literally like the Saturday before Thanksgiving. And so this time of year is such a trigger. And one of the things that I totally believe in, too, is find ways to positively remember those that are no longer with us. Because if you can, then it brings back the joy and less of the sorrow.
Yeah.
And so, again, with family's tough. I mean, it is, they're there to help. But sometimes when you're asking for help, be specific.
Right.
Ask, hey, can you help me with this? Because one of the things that I noticed with divorce and even dealing with Eric's passing, family does get a little tired of, why aren't you over this yet? And it's kind of like, well, thank you. I hear what you're saying, But at the same time, it's, it's just difficult. You can't, saying, well, why can't you get over it? It's been a year. It's been 2 years. It's been 3 years. Well, in that case, again, ask for help. Be specific. Cut me some slack. So I don't know. And sometimes if
I agree. I think it's tough, right? Like everybody's in a different situation, and everybody's in a different place in life, and everybody has different problems, and we can't just assume where people are or expect them to get over it.
No, absolutely.
People have processes, and they have to go through those. So.
Well, and that goes back to our emotions. All right, these are things that we can do. And, it's easy to make negative assumptions.
Right.
And when you hear people visiting or talking and then you walk in and they suddenly stop talking, well, don't assume that they were talking about you. It could be somebody else in the family that they were talking about and they didn't want rumors to swirl. So, I don't know. It is tough. And I love my family time.
Yeah.
But there are times where sometimes too much of a good thing can be a bad thing.
Yeah.
And so everybody's a little different. But yes, I can see where the family can be kind of a anchor and pull you down.
Yeah.
So
it can be, but we can't choose our families. We're usually born into it, or you might marry into one, but you chose the person, the partner, right? Not necessarily the rest of the family.
That is
so
true.
It's just you don't really get to choose, but we can be thankful for those families as well.
Well, yes,
I think that one of the things that I love about this season is partying. Like I like to get together with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's fun to go to parties and do things. And, we like we called it, because we're from New Hampshire, right? We called it Yankee Swap. Sometimes they call it White Elephant.
Yeah.
Other kinds of gift exchanges, they're fun. Some of them are, Yankee Swap is pretty lighthearted. White Elephant, I think, get a little bit nastier, and then you got like Dirty Santa.
I've not heard of Dirty Santa.
You can steal the gifts from other people.
Oh, no,
those kinds of things.
I've had that part of our White Elephant stuff.
Yeah, and you get prank gifts, and there's funny stuff going on there. But I like that stuff. Not everybody does. I found like sometimes that brings up anxiety for people to go to those kinds of things, but there's an expectation, right, that you'll take part in these things, particularly like office parties or things like that, where you don't really want to. You're not maybe that standout kind of person. Maybe you're not the extrovert, right? So you have a little bit of trouble. And what do you think about that?
I think that work parties can be both fun and scary. Me, I'm an extrovert.
I know that the work party in Die Hard was kind of scary.
Well, yeah, but that was from outside influence, when you get, kidnapped by German terrorists. But for the most part, I don't think many of us
we're not experiencing that.
That is our holiday.
But when you have to buy that gift, and they're like, you're going to do this Secret Santa, and it's going to be, you got to buy a $10 gift. And then you got that person who buys the $35 gift. Now everybody's feeling kind of off, It's like,
well, I had some of that when I worked at the Catholic school when I first moved to Texas. They did the Secret Santa, and the expectation was you do a little gift every day, and then the last day you would do your final gift, which would be a little bit bigger than the others.
Yeah.
I wasn't too sure. In my first year, I was very apprehensive.
Right.
But I found it kind of fun, especially every day you go to your mailbox and wonder, what do I got? What do I got? What do I got? And to where by the second and third year, I was really getting into it.
Yeah.
Because I would use clues to try and, confuse you, give you hints as to who I was. Because that was part of the game when we would have our faculty Christmas luncheon, was you had to try and guess who your Secret Santa was.
I I guess that's part of the fun of it.
Which, yes, but I think a lot depends on how much you like your coworkers. If you're working in a big office and it's been pretty impersonal all year, then this kind of stuff is a little harder. It might feel manufactured. If it is a small or intimate group, like when I worked at the Catholic school, there were a grand total of 40 faculty, grades K through 8. And so you knew each other. And there was very little turnover. So you got to know these people really well over the years.
Right.
Sherry's company, they actually rent out Dave and Buster's.
Okay.
And they provide food and a game card.
I've never even been to.
Oh, well.
I've heard it's overrated, but I don't want to.
Well, you know what? Each to their own. I love video games.
See.
And it's a lot of fun. And
I literally know nothing about it. So.
Well, then that might be worth exploring. But it's kind of neat. You can socialize with who you want to socialize with.
Sure.
And you can bring your extended family. And it's a lot of fun. But it's low key. And I kind of like that. Whereas, the faculty parties we have here at school, well, it's after school in the cafeteria and no spouses, and it's bring your own food to share with each other, kind of a potluck, right. I guess. And that's okay. It's no gift giving. You can win a few prizes and off you go. So there's not as much socializing
sure.
Outside your department. Maybe, you see some folks, but we have high turnover rate here. And so as a result, it's kind of hard to get to know folks. I don't know. Work parties can be fun. They can be frustrating.
Well, and then there's friend parties, right?
Those are
family parties, and there's all kinds of different parties that you might want to go to. I think that there's a lot of them going on, right? And I think part of the problem is you can't necessarily go to all of them.
No, and I got 3 tips. 1, don't overbook yourself. Don't overcommit. It's easy to do, but you know what? If you're just not feeling it, hey, look, I can't make it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go into a long diatribe of why. Just, you know what? I'm not going to make it. Don't overbook yourself.
Right.
Second, when you do go to these parties, if you're only there half hour, 45 minutes, that's fine. Yeah. Peace out. And lastly, where possible, and this is what since you and I kind of teach across the hall from each other, it works out pretty good. But when you're going to a party, go with somebody. Try and not go alone.
Yeah.
You might have a little more fun and might be more enjoyable, but I don't know. Like I say, go with a friend, stay as long as you want, but leave when you're ready.
Yeah. And
don't feel like you got to go to them all.
I think aside from parties, right, one of the biggest stressors and one of the things that I enjoy it overall, but shopping is for some people, especially if you're having financial issues, right? Shopping is really stressful, and some people just don't like crowds.
Mm-hmm.
Getting out there, but you get out there sometimes and you start buying stuff, and then it's hard to walk into Walmart and not walk out having spent $100, right?
Well,
it's just they're all, you go to a store and they're like, "Did you find everything you were looking for?" I'm like, "Yes," and $50 worth more of stuff too. And I found too much stuff.
Well, and $50 extra, that's being generous. That could be one item,
right? It can be stressful, right?
I think,
and it takes a little bit of the spirit out of it.
I had a college class many, many years ago, and it was these are not my words. It was a public speaking class, and it was our final, and we had to read our final out loud, or give our final speech in front of the whole class.
Right.
And so I don't remember the kid's name. I don't remember what the topic was, but we were talking about Christmas, and he said, Christmas time is when we put a financial price tag on our friends and family. Okay. And that has resonated with me for the better part of 40 years. And I truly do believe that is true.
Okay.
I will put a price tag. Well, what's I spend the most on Sherry, and then it goes down from there. You put a kind of a cap. And then, of course, depending on who they are, they might like this, so you buy them a little extra. And you can literally put yourself into massive financial debt. Dave Ramsey, I know not a lot of people like him, but I find him kind of interesting. And he has always said, live within your means.
Yeah.
And so stick to your budget. Whatever your budget is, stick to it. One of the things that we are looking at for our extended family with Sherry's family is doing that white elephant gift. We're going to draw names and then do a white elephant gift exchange too, and put a cap, because we've got, the little kids are now big kids, with 10 nieces, nephews, grandkids. Only 1, 2, 3. Over half of them are 8. Yeah, over half. Yeah, half of them are 18 and above. 2 of them are juniors in high school. So you really only got 3 little kids, and all the adults. And money is just, my money tree in the backyard withered up and died.
Really?
And so, going out and spending, thousands of dollars on Christmas presents is getting a little extreme. Yeah. And so stick to your budget. Because
my wife and I cut back. We no longer get any major gifts for each other, because you know what? We're in our 50s and we buy whatever the heck we want all year long. So
yeah,
I got no reason to wait until Christmas or whatever. I'm not going to wait. So
sure,
we do stockings, and we give each other gift cards and different things, but we don't do a whole lot beyond the stocking. Gifts, and it just makes everything easier, and we just enjoy the season, and then we get to see our grandson open presents later in the day, and all that's fun, right? Like, but I mean, even when the kids were home, we focused more on the kids than we did us, and that was what we felt like was important, was the giving to others. And so that's kind of how we did it. But even then, it's tough sometimes to stick to that budget, but you got it.
I think if you can, then you're going to feel less stress and less pressure.
Yeah, and it saves you from extra stress later. Trying to pay all that off.
Well, when the bills come in January, you mentioned crowds. I hate shopping. I rephrase that. I like to go goof around.
Yeah,
I like
to people watch.
That can be very entertaining, and I don't mind going to the mall, depending on which mall it is. Going to Grapevine. We mentioned before about how they're known as Christmas Town USA. They've got all kinds of neat little shops. So I like going in and just poking in to see what they got. I don't like to buy a lot. And to the point that Sherry now does most of her shopping online.
Yeah. And I do as well.
And that's the thing, with Nick, crying out loud, I can order something and it's here usually within 24 to 48 hours. At most, it's here within 3 to 4 days.
Yeah.
And so if you don't want to go deal with parking and people driving like garbage and too many people, shop online.
Yeah.
That's one of the positives to come out of COVID. And and the idea of the perfect gift, well, maybe you get lucky, but let it be a luck thing, not I don't know. Sometimes I find that the stuff that I think will be the gift isn't the gift, and instead it's something else that I thought, this is just a little sidebar thing I picked up, I saw, as an afterthought.
Right.
And that's the gift that they love most of all. So, again, the stress of trying to find that perfect gift, just don't worry about it.
I think that, aside from all that, right, we do a lot of focusing on others, but there's still like some self-care that we need to take care of, right?
Yeah.
Still, one of the major things, of course, is to, focus on eating right, because a lot of times during the holidays we put on that extra weight.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm trying to take weight off still. So
yeah.
I don't want to put on more weight. And so eating sensibly is part of that, and being physically, active and things like that. But there's, there may be some other things that you can focus on to kind of take care of yourself while you're also being generous to others.
Well, one is, if you got a therapist, keep seeing that therapist. Don't blow them off for the month of November or December.
Because they need to eat too, right?
Well, no. More as in, it's easy to put off going to see them, but this is, again, it's super important. So don't blow them off.
So keep the normal commitments is what you're saying.
Pretty much, yes. Keep your regular schedule. I mean, it is, you're right. The food, crying out loud, the rich, chocolatey foods can really overdo it. But, one of the things that most people, and a lot do, and it's easy to do with Christmas parties, is, kind of tip the bottle a little too much.
Sure.
Well, alcohol is a depressant.
Yeah.
And if you are, if you're depressed or feeling blue, the last thing you need is something that will actually bring you down. And as well as, if you're at the work Christmas party and you kind of overindulge, you may wind up inadvertently saying the wrong thing to the wrong person. And instead of a Christmas bonus, you get the pink slip. So again, try everything in moderation, but maybe even less alcohol. The one thing that I had seen suggested, and I thought, holy cow, I may explore this, and that is a sun lamp. Something that can give you a little extra vitamin E. Because, we're in the time of year where, thanks to, a wide variety of factors outside our control, our days are very short.
Sure.
And so going outside, seeing the sun, if the sun's shiny, that's one thing. But then a day like today where it's really cloudy and overcast, the sun may be up, but you don't see it. And so, but if you can get a sun lamp, put that vitamin E on you, it can boost your mood and make you feel better.
Sure. And
so I need to explore. I may actually later today kind of see about
I'm sure
see what I can find online.
I'm sure you can find one online and get it delivered to your house by tomorrow. Give it a shot.
Well, we may give that a whirl, but I don't know.
Sherry will look at you funny, but I'm sure that
I'll have a tan.
You'll have a tan.
Farmer's tan, but hey, I don't know. I guess it's easy when we're worried about others to forget about ourselves.
Yeah.
So
I think the biggest thing is you were saying, to keep your schedule, right? And if you're seeing a therapist, keep seeing the therapist. Like don't put those things off. Don't change them. If your therapy appointment conflicts with a holiday party, go to the therapy appointment, right? Like just you can't go to the party, and that's fine, right? You've got to take care of yourself as well. So there'll be other parties or other things to do. So try to stick to the schedule, and I think that's been a big thing for me lately. Is I'm committing to doing certain things on certain schedules, and I just try to keep it.
The thing is, if you can't take care of yourself, how can you help take care of others, including your children?
I agree.
So anyway, I think that we can make it through the holidays. Yes, and just requires a little conscious effort, and just don't let other people drag you down. Again, the big thing is you can't control what happens to you, but you sure as heck can control how you react.
Well, that's a great way to end.
So, anyway, well,
we're almost there.
Yeah. By the way, remind me, I need to give you my Christmas wish list.
Yeah.
So that way you can get me that perfect gift.
I'm waiting to see how high up on your list I am.
Oh, you're near the top, baby.
Yeah, I'm expecting that. I'm expecting that expensive gift then.
Yeah, all right. Well, then until next time, I'm Rod.
I'm Scott.
See ya.
Bye-bye.